Hello and welcome to Oscars vs. DC Comics for week 2 of December, here with reviews of Batman and the Outsiders number 8, Batman Curse of the White Knight book 5, Detective Comics number 1017, The Flash number 84, Justice League number 16, and Tales from the Dark Multiverse, Teen Titans, The Judas Contract number 1. Yeah, there's quite a lot. Probably notice it's going to be a bit bigger next week because DC decided, screw week 4, let's just put everything in week 3. My wallet hates you, okay? DC, let that be known. Week 3, my wallet absolutely hates you. But moving on to these reviews, starting off with Batman and the Outsiders, A League of Their Own Part 1. This is the start of the next story arc. Continuing the whole fight against Ra's al Ghul and all that. So written by Brian Hill, art by Dexter Soy, coloring by Veronica Gandini, the cover by Tyler Kirkham and Nate Rufino. So, sorry, still got this cough. Black Lightning and Katana are still fighting off against Caliber, who has betrayed them. Sophia has kind of come to her senses. She tackles Caliber out of the plane as Black Lightning uses his powers to save himself and Katana from the explosion, and they are able to land safely back on the ground. And seems like Sophia has come to her senses. She's not entirely free of Ra's influence, but she does realize she's being influenced and how bad that is. And Batman and everyone, mainly Batman and Katana, are there to help her deal with it. It's not over. Ra's hasn't been fully dealt with that yet, but Sophia doesn't seem to be in his grasp anymore, and they're going to make sure that stays as it is. Sophia will be her own person, not manipulated by anyone, and be given the help that she needs. But Ra's isn't done with them. He's lost Sophia. Caliber, presumed to be missing or dead. He only has Lady Shiva. There's also stuff with Duke finding out a little bit about his powers, but mainly, his new powers with Cassandra, but mainly, Ra's isn't done yet. He's going to make his counterattack to what has happened recently. So story, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. The plot progressed really, really well. There's a lot of great scenes, especially between Katana and Black Lightning. They're kind of their teamwork, their relationship is developing really, really, really well. Definitely one of the highlights out of this Batman and the Outsiders run. The art and the coloring, I'm definitely going to give a 4.5 out of 5. The art and coloring here is great. Just pretty much everything at the start with like Black Lightning and Katana. The art and coloring of that is amazing. Just them surviving the explosion, them descending onto a pier safely. All of that just looks absolutely just so great. And the cover, I'm going to give a 4 out of 5. I think the art and coloring here is good. My only problem is the cover implies this issue will have something to do with Cassandra. Not really. She plays a very minor role in this issue. It's more to focus on Black Lightning, I would say. Black Lightning, Katana, Sophia, and Ra's. They're the main focus of this issue, not really Cassandra. But moving on to Batman Curse of the White Knight, written by... here we go. Written by art and cover by Sean Murphy, coloring and cover by Matt Hollingsworth. So, Batman did not attend Jim's funeral, believing that it would be an insult for him to be there and fights would start. Jim's death kind of being on his hands, so he thought out of respect he would not go to the funeral. But while he did not go to the funeral, he uncovered more of his ancestors' history that ties him and Azrael together. He finds out that after Edmund Wayne and Bakar were able to achieve their plan, Edmund did not uphold his end of the deal and killed Bakar, and with some help from the British, flooded parts of Gotham to get rid of the Order of Saint Dumas, all of that. The chapels, any evidence of pretty much any evidence that Bakar, the Chapel of Saint Dumas, all of that was gone. So this is the secret history of the Waynes that the Joker has uncovered and is using Azrael against Bruce. Azrael is betrayed by a Joker's associate who tries to use Bane to defeat him. Azrael defeats him and dons his new Batman armor to enact his justice on Gotham City. And then we also have in the book, both Harley and Batman realize that Jack Napier is not fully dead. He is still somewhere inside the Joker, and he is I can't say the word. He is secretly helping them without the Joker knowing, and Harley tries to get his help to figure out what was the Joker's plan, what is his full intentions with Azrael. So story, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. The plot is progressing really, really well, learning more about the secret history of the Waynes, Azrael, all of that. Got the return of Jack Napier. He's still there, so there is that possibility. You know, the Joker can be good, but it's not completely fully. So it was nice to see Jack return, and he is still being an influence, being a part of the White Knight universe. Art and coloring, I'm going to give a 4 out of 5. The art and coloring here is definitely good. Some really good scenes, especially with any scene with Azrael looks just really, really good. And the cover, I'm going to give a 4 out of 5. Good art, good coloring, like this cover. So on to Detective Comics number 1017. This is written by Tom Taylor, art by Fernando Blanco, coloring by John Callas, the cover by Tony S. Daniel and Brad Anderson. So Tomasi's taken a break just for one issue. Tom Taylor's taking over for this story called Orphan. So in the Martha Wayne orphanage, some kids have gone missing. Lucius tells Batman of this, and given that it's an orphanage that was named after his mother, Batman becomes involved, going in there as Bruce Wayne to see if the orphanage needs any help, see what's going on. So with Damien, they're able to locate one of the most recent missing kids, Miguel, and they try to save him. They desperately try to save him. He's suffering from severe hypothermia, dehydrated, malnourished. They're trying to keep him conscious, keep him fighting for longer. There's some nice, actually sweet, kind of tender moments here with Batman and Damian trying to keep him conscious, trying to get him to stay alive, but unfortunately Miguel succumbs to all of the things that he was suffering from, and he doesn't make it out alive. But Batman is able to kind of figure out what was really going on. So story, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. I think it's a nice, a nice kind of sweet, bit emotional filler story. I did enjoy it. I think it was a good issue. The art and the coloring, I'm going to give it 3 out of 5. The majority of the time, it just looked average. Didn't particularly like the art. The cover, though, I'm going to give a 4 out of 5. I think good art, good color on this cover, good cover overall. So on to Flash number 84, written by Joshua Williamson, art by Christian Deuce, coloring by Luis Guerrero, the cover by Rafa Sandoval, Jordi Torunga, and Hi-Fi. So Golden Glider takes the Flash family, just for the sake of not having to name them individually, the Flash family, to see Mirror Master, who has a piece of the mirror which is needed to undo everything that King Cold has done to Central City. So they meet Weather Wizard, but he doesn't believe that the Flash that is with Golden Glider is actually the Flash, given King Cold's report that he himself killed the Flash, so he damages their, not damage, pretty much destroys their power inhibitors, so they still can't control the Speed Force there. As Barry puts it, they're kind of back at stage 1 of like where they all got the Speed Force for the first time, and so they can't control it. So what they need to do is to try and figure out how to control the Speed Force again, and to work with Weather Wizard and Golden Glider to save Central City and try and to stop King Cold. So story, I'm going to give this a I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Plot's progressing really, really well. Flash family, you know, all of them, Barry, Wally, Avery, have to try and relearn how to control their powers in order to save the day. The rest of the rogues are starting to get involved with this plot, and kind of like they're also realizing that they've gone too far. Particularly, Snart has gone too far. What they're doing is not the rogues' way. They're not supposed to be huge multimillionaire, like everyone's afraid of them, super villains and all that. They're the rogues. Like, they're just supposed to be criminals. So members of the rogues starting to come together, reunite in order to stop their kind of fallen leader. Art and coloring, I'm going to give a 4.5 out of 5. I think the art and coloring here is great. The cover, I'm going to give a 4.5 out of 5. Great cover, great art, great coloring. On to Justice League Odyssey, number 16, written by, I believe, this one's on the side here, jeez. Written by Dan Abnett, art by Cliff Richards, coloring by Rain Barreto, the cover by Will Conrad with Barreto. So, Jessica sends Blackfire, Dexter, and Hacks, yes. Sends the three to find parts to fix their ship, while she goes to question Orion about how he survived, what he's doing. So, tying back into the whole Justice League annual, with the Source Wall collapsing, Perpetua being freed. Sorry, still got this cough. So, Orion watched as the rest of the New Gods just disappeared while the Source Wall was being destroyed. Something happened to them. So Orion was the only one left alive. He put on his occulting armor to hide himself from the Eschaton, so the Eschaton hunts down any remaining New Gods. And they discuss whether Darkseid's intentions are true or not. Orion blames Jessica and the crews for making Darkseid what he is nowadays. Kind of as he puts it, he used to be stable, malevolent and all-powerful, but stable. But because they brought him so low, took his powers away, incentivized him, he's become more depraved, more hungry, and more dangerous. So him doing all this, the Sepulchre, the Ghost Sector, a result of that. But Jessica believes, well, he said it's for self-preservation because he's afraid of Perpetua, of what's going on. So he wants to keep himself alive while the rest of the multiverse is destroyed. And while this is going on, we are introduced to, I assume, is a new character, Gamma Knife, who is scavenging their ship. They get into a brief fight with them as Blackfire and her team are also attacked by someone else. And Jessica is able to deal with the situation with Gamma Knife, get her kind of on their side. So story, I'm going to give this a, let's see, I will give this a 4 out of 5. The plot is progressing really, really well, learning a bit more. There's a bit of drama going on, but I think I am still at least enjoying what I've been reading so far. And at least finally now, at the end, the new gods that Darkseid has created from the original Justice League Odyssey members are now starting to get involved as well. So finally, it's not just them arguing in space all the time now. It's finally the plot's starting to kick back in. It's raring to go. The art and the coloring, I'm going to give a 4 out of 5. The art and coloring here is, for the majority of the time, is good. And the cover, I'm going to give a 3.5 out of 5. While the art and coloring is good, I think it's an average looking cover. It's not particularly a wondrous, amazing looking cover. Given a lot of Justice League Odyssey's covers, they've definitely been better. So moving on to Teen Titans, the Judas Contract, the latest in the Tales from the Dark Multiverse. So written by Kyle Higgins and Matt Groom, art by Tom Rainey, coloring by Hi-Fi. So in this universe, the diverging point of the Judas Contract is that Wally, as with the original timeline, Wally retires, and Dick Grayson is finally deciding to let go of the Robin mantle and to take up his own name. But the diverging point here is that as he's about to reveal what he's called, he notices that something is wrong with Terra. So later on in the night, he visits her, tries to get her to open up, have a conversation. She's not really having it. And when she goes back to Deathstroke to report what's going on at all of that, he's not particularly happy that she was put into this situation and that she allowed it. So he slaps her, which causes her to go berserk and kill Deathstroke. And through a failed attempt of trying to kill of an attempted assassination, she kills Wintergreen, and she gets a power up, now going under the name of Gaia, and she launches her own attacks on the Teen Titans. She seemingly kills every single member of the Teen Titans as she goes to confront Dick Grayson, but he is saved at the last moment by Kid Flash and Robin together as the last remaining members of the Teen Titans go to deal with Terra. But even those two are dispatched by Terra as Superman arrives to deal with Terra as well. But the powers that she has gained now and given her control over the Earth, she is much too powerful for anyone. So story, I'm gonna give this a 3.5 out of 5. I think it was above average. I'm not particularly a big fan of Terra, and this didn't really help. Having even read the original Teen Titans run, with this iteration, the George Perez run and all that. I never particularly liked Terra in that original one, so even here I still don't like her. It was okay, but her just all of a sudden just yes, I am now super ultra omega powerful, and just kills all of the Teen Titan members, seemingly just by herself. It's okay, sure. At least with a lot of the other Tales of the Dark Multiverse stuff, of a fallen hero or whatever taking on everyone else. For instance, the Infinite Crisis one, Ted Kord still had help achieving all of this. He was now in control of Checkmate, and he had Brother Eye and the Omax at his disposal. It's Terra, yeah, sure, she has power over the Earth, but I think she was, I would argue she was so incredibly overpowered in this story. It kind of took me away a bit, in my opinion. Art and coloring, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. For the majority of the time, the art and coloring was good. There was a lot of parts where the faces were a bit off, particularly with Terra. I didn't really notice it with a lot of the other characters. Mainly with Terra, there was a lot of times where her face just looks off. But I think overall the art and coloring was good. The cover, I'm going to give a 4 out of 5. Good cover, good art, good coloring. So that is it for those for this week 2 releases, December week 2 releases for DC Comics. Thank you all for watching. If you want to follow me on social media, my Twitter and Instagram handles are in the outro. If you like the video, leave a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one.